how H2K fired back.
Thank you very much, and indeed H2K very much back in this, or not out I should say rather, 2-1 now, and I am thinking back to last week when we have 5 games of H2K versus OG, and game 3 was H2K being massively ahead, playing their own game, making the right choices, but it was only game 3. So where do you guys see the differences here?
You know what happened last time we played game 3 and did the same? Kassadin was picked in the mid lane one more time. Rio said, oh, is that a free laning phase for me? Thank you very much. I'm going to push that one down, not die to a random first blood, of course. And suddenly we can actually play our game 1-3-1 perfect and take all the outer turrets.
And also, you wanted some praise for your prediction of the picks and bans in game 3,
I
so
mean, that's
go
on
ahead.
you guys, right? Tell me, guys, what happened in the pick and ban phase? And what did I say would happen?
Well, no, because during the break he said, listen, I predicted it all, ask me about it, and now you give
It was
us...
like
I think I actually wanted to bring it up. The Fishy had a good predictor on pick and bans, and I think it was a good pivot from H2K overall.
Thank you.
With absolute disrespect from Fnatic.
Yeah.
I mean, if a team is letting you play your style on stage like that, getting away with murder when it comes to very passive late-game compositions, don't insult them by picking Kassadin. That is just a mark too much, and H2K is like, what? I challenge this position. They push in all these lanes, they start rotating, and suddenly Fnatic just falls super far behind.
I think Fnatic is disrespected H2K a bit. They're like, oh, they're doing nothing early game with their double TPs. They're doing nothing. We can just scale up for free. And they just went for a scaling comp, and we see what happens when H2K plays their game.
Shook, as a pro player, how do teams keep doing this? Because we see this so often. Up to, oh, I know you get in your comfort zone, but why doesn't someone just tell you, hey, don't play risky?
I don't know, it's just a matter of best of 5. Like, I assume they thought H2K would not do anything in the early game again, so they're just waiting to see how it goes in skill. But they go for a scaling comp and they get punished finally, and that's what I like to see.
In terms of how this series, affects certain players, Forgiven, while he had a little bit of a rough spot earlier, yes, the low damage wasn't only due to him. Obviously, it's the way his team set him up. This game, he had the most damage on his team. At least, yes, he's playing a poke champion, so that kind of makes it a lot easier. But at least he had a higher impact. We saw some of those fights, not afraid to go in for the damage, and I think this will be really good for H2K's like mental strength in the series, because they show that like when they played their style, they can still absolutely dominate an early game.
And I think even more important, they showed in the pick and ban phase that when you take away the Azir, there was right now not a good answer for for Bivin to get mid lane control back. I just think for Fnatic here, going Ezreal Kassadin was the wrong move. I think they wanted to take early Ezreal, maybe thinking Forgiven would steal it away now that Kalista hadn't worked for him. And that's why they early picked it, and then realized all the way down with the last pick. They're like, okay, what's our normal counter pick to Lissandra? It's the Kassadin. For a lot of teams, other teams will do like a zillion. But in this case, they're like, oh, all right, go for that counter pick, see if we can outplay it. But now suddenly we actually have a bad composition if we put it all together. So I think they just look too much at the individual rotations. Ezreal in that first rotation, Shook, we didn't like it.
I'm not a fan of Ezreal at first rotation. I think it gives you a free lane. If you can just pick whatever AD carry and have a free lane, then I think Ezreal should be a later on pick.
And also a difference from the H2K in games 1 and 2 to 3 in our last replay. They built up a lead early game, actually 6K lead at 20 minutes, and they just seemed more aggressive in all of their moves. When we said they were too much holding back in game 1, this is where they went all in.
And that just generates such forced engages by Fnatic too, that where then H2K can use the double teleport to come in, because they have enough time. A lot of these picks, whether it's the Azir being off the table in terms of push or the gold lead, it buys H2K time to really punish some of these bold moves by Fnatic, and that's exactly what happened there.
Again, Azir gives you mid lane control, which stops the push from happening. But also that fight, Gamsu was still sitting bot lane.
Yeah, that wasn't a good fight.
But yeah, what's going on here, guys? And also, Engage was exhausting an Alistar. I don't think Alistar will ever deal enough damage to really force an exhaust unless
I know, man, the ulti.
Alistar thing coming.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Well, we'll have to ask them if we get a chance. However, how much then going into the next game is now connected to the specific picks that H2K got their hands up, because Fnatic, we will assume, won't be as overzealous next game and maybe not go for that full late game comp. I feel like a lot is obviously connected to that Lissandra mid lane for Ryu, because if anything else fails, you know that he'll be able to do something on that. Anything else that Fnatic has to shut down?
I mean, Fnatic can just steal the Lissandra early as well. I mean, H2K can only get their hands on so many picks in that first pick, obviously, and then they can have a good reaction. That's why Purple Side is sometimes really fun to play, and that means you can leave your counter pick maybe for Reckless on that AD carry if you're putting a tank top anyways.
I also think it's a weak rotation when you take early Ezreal and then you give the Maokai one more time and you pick a Gragas into it. Why not just go Braum Maokai then as your first rotation in this example? Get either Sivir or Ezreal once you've seen the enemy AD carry, hopefully. And then, of course, steal away Lissandra. It's a fantastic pick for Febivin.
Yeah, I agree. Fnatic should aim to get the the Lissandra going if Azir is banned, so he can finally get some mid pressure going and some deeply plays themselves.
Now we'll see H2K coming on strong in Game 3, but Fnatic is still just one win away from securing 3rd place in the European Spring Split. We'll see if H2K can bring us all the way to Game 5 when we return.
Every solo kill is gonna be the crowd going mental, you know?
Imagine I got pentakill.
Flash over the wall. Banda gets the hit, but pulverizer to Clyde. First blood secured by H2K.
We can kill now. We can. Okay, go. Someone else. Flash on someone. Speed it, no flash. Speed it, no flash. Flash. Yes. We can kill him. I still have ult.
Take down.
Maybe we can take Inkip to that. No.
Fnatic are forced to just group mid. They can't play all Spirit.
There's the engage.
And H2K will not go down without a fight.